A log deck is the easiest, most efficient way to stage logs for milling. They don't have to be fancy, but they do need to be strong. Here's one I built for my Norwood HD36 sawmill using two 10-foot 6x6 beams, two 3-foot 4x4s, and some stumps. I notched out the stumps about 4 inches deep for the beams to rest on, and made notches to match the 4x4s so that everything fits together. The deck also makes a good place to keep your tools handy without being in the way. You can even notch the stumps for a place to put the chainsaw. The 4x4s fit into notches in the stump and have notches to sit on the frame instead of the track. Loading the deck with a front-end loader is a cinch. I spaced the beams so that the front wheels and the frame of the tractor would fit inside so that I could load the first log as far forward as possible. The big advantage of the deck is that it lets you load several hours worth of logs without having to get on and off the tractor. It's also easier on the mill since the logs roll onto it instead of dropping them, and there's no chance of bumping the mill with the tractor. With the deck, the logs are at an easy working height to trim off any stubs that could cause problems rolling the log or milling it. Always be sure to raise the log stops. I hate it when the logs roll off the other side of the mill, and it happens. The 4x4 bridges are angled down just slightly to help the logs roll onto the deck. For smaller logs, you don't even need a cant hook. The deck has notches in the ends to match the Norwood ramps, though you could use wood ramps or even steel pipe. The ramps come in handy for the bigger logs, since the old Ford could only handle about 600 pounds. This is a technique known as parbuckling. By passing the cable over the top of the log, then back to the frame, the winch line rolls the log up the ramp. This is my first test of the system using a 12-volt electric winch and deep cycle battery. The winch is rated at about 2,500 pounds. This 8-foot by 26-inch oak log weighs about 1,600 pounds, so it'll make a good test. You can see that it puts some strain on the mill frame, but it holds and it does the job. I do think that the deck needs some cross bracing though, and heavier stumps would have also helped. The log was a little too crooked on the deck, but we were able to straighten it out by putting a wedge-shaped block under the end that was a little too far forward and moving the winch line to the other end of the log. Worked like a champ.
Beautifully done.
With the log in place, we're ready to slice it up.